Welcome to Startup Hack. All right, so you want to build a machine to host AI in your home or office. Now, there's a tons of reasons for doing this. Maybe you want to learn about AI and running LLMs. Maybe you want to be able to build to start developing against. Or maybe you want to be able to run an internal application for your corporate needs without that staggering bill of the cloud CPUs. So I'm going to break it down for you today, explain why, explain costs and what kind of hardware you're going to need, and give you some stories about my journey in doing this and explain why I did what I have and what I learned along the way, which is a lot. So stick around because this will be really informative. It's super entertaining story time, even if all you want to do is just kind of learn more about it and you're not going to necessarily dive in to do it. I promise this will be educational and you'll come away knowing a lot more about AI, LLMs, and what it's going to take to run them. So let's dive in and get going. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thompson. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming technology teams and product. Now, what does this mean? Let's break this down the cost here a little bit more. So if you want to do this on a cloud computing, your H100 is pretty much what all the cloud computing models are going to be using to be able to run these hosted these LLMs. So this is an 80 gigabyte graphics card, and you can get a server that will run one of these. So you have a dedicated piece of hardware for you to be able to run this. On DigitalOcean, which seems to be one of the cheapest in the most reliable area that I've found. There may be some cheaper ones out there. I'm a big DigitalOcean fan. Shout out for DigitalOcean, who used it for a decade. $3.39 per hour. Now, that doesn't sound so bad at first. And yes, you could get into a scenario where you're spinning it up, spinning it down if you have workloads that only run during part of the day or something. But for most use cases, you're going to want these to be running pretty much 24/7 to make an application available when you need it. Now, if you're only doing this for development, you could spin it up and down when you're doing the development costs. But let's just run this. I'm going to run all these numbers just with the 24-hour cost, right? So that's $81 a day, $569 a week, and $2,500 a month to run one graphics card on one server. So you can see where this gets pretty pricey really quick. Your ROI has got to be greater than something of $2,500 a month just to be able to run one of these. So in some cases, this might be totally worth it. But like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of other reasons why you may not want to do this. So now if you want to get into hosting, so as you can see from that slide here, you can see that if you're running pretty much, this will run the DeepSeek, this cloud server would run pretty much all of these DeepSeek very, very efficiently. So you could actually run a 70 billion model running multiple different pipelines against it and run this very efficiently, right? You wouldn't be able to run the biggest model. In order to be able to run the biggest model, you would need to get into where you have at least 6 of these H100s. But generally with DigitalOcean, there was either choice for 1 or 8 GPU hosting. Now the GPU hosting with 8 is $24 per hour, which then totals up to $13,000 per week, which is a staggering $330,000 per month. There's very few companies and businesses that are going to be running at something that's going to be $300,000 per month. That is an absolutely overwhelming cost. Now, this is then where you lend into and say, well, why wouldn't I just purchase some of these myself? Okay, let's get into that. And that's exactly what the point of this video is I want to start to break down what kind of server costs you're going to need if you want to be able to run these various models. Now, again, as you look at these models here, the closer you get to the largest, the better scores you're going to get. So when you see all those benchmark scores about all the different AIs, where Grok 3 is comparing against the latest Gemini 2.0 Flash and all of these, they're running against their largest models. It's always the largest models they're comparing against, right? And I'll show you some of the reasons that makes sense here in a minute. Now, so if you want to do some things, and if you, like, let's say you wanted to do the 1.5 billion parameter and you want to just run it really efficient, really fast to do this one thing, and you don't need crazy high accuracy, then you can just go grab any random $500 machine, just pretty much any PC that's laying around your office, slap Olam on top of it, put a 1.5, and about 20 bucks a month, you can run some costs. Your accuracy is going to be super low. Now, the 7 and 8 billion models is where you could actually start doing something worthwhile. The 1.5 model is pretty good for a party trick. That's about all it's really good for. Maybe if you want to tell some jokes or something silly like that. At the 7 billion, 8 billion parameter model, you can start to run something semi-interesting. And now this requires a $500 server. Your GPU costs are going to run pretty consistently. I can get an 8 gig card for $200 to $250. $200 if you buy something used or recertified, $250 if you're buying new. We might even call it 300, but your total all-in cost is between $700 and $800. Not bad. $20 a month. Not a lot of hosting. Now, when you get to the 14 billion model, you're definitely, you're stepping up. Your GPU needs to be 16 gigs. Your cost of the GPU goes up more than even the machine at that point. You're really getting into the $750 range, was the cheapest I could really consistently find the cost of a 16 gig VRAM, to where your server cost is going to cost about $1,250. Okay. And your energy usage is going to go up slightly. So that bottom number is how much it costs energy usage wise to run. Now, when you start getting into models that get more efficient, 32 billion is when these models start getting really, really interesting. Before that, your accuracy is just really low. So 24 gig GPU, your GPU cost is about $1,250. Now, really your consumer grade GPUs are really pretty much limited at 24 gigs. You can't get really a whole lot of consumer grade GPUs with more than 24 gigs. So this is where you get into where you're still at single GPU usage, right? So a base server, still that PC sitting under your desk. You can slap a 24 gig card into it. It costs about $1,200 to $1,500, and you're looking at $1,700 to $2,000 for the cost of this. These cards are a little bit bigger, gonna definitely suck a little bit more electricity. You're looking about $30 a month. All right. The 70 billion model is actually the one where really, to me, the price point kind of cuts off and you start to really see the price point performance wise. And so the 70 billion model is really efficient, and you can get 2 of the 24 gig GPUs. So you're basically just taking these 2 24 gig GPUs and getting a machine that can run 2 of these. And there's lots of machines that can run 2 of these. It's not that uncommon. A pretty high-end gaming machine. Usually you want to pick up gaming machines because gaming machines frequently will have 2 PCI slots. Slap 2 of these 24 gigs cards in there. So you're running about $2,500 to $3,000 for consumer grade, 2 high-end consumer grade GPUs. Total cost is running between $3,000 and $4,000. Now, most businesses, this is something that you can still justify, and your ROI on this could be, turn back really quick. If you can justify, making 1 employee's worth of more efficiency out of your company, this is the kind of money that you could be spending, and a developer could be coding against this. So I'm going to be the rest of this project and the rest of the series that I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to be doing a series of these. So make sure you like and subscribe, because where I've done a lot about AI, I want to kind of keep moving forward with this DIY AI concept. So this, and go towards developers where you can start to develop against this without a huge bill. And this is what I'm really getting to today. So this cost is going to be roughly about $40 per month, $3,500. Now that's something that businesses could spend, and even a lot of personal people. If you want to start up, you're trying to start up an AI side hustle, trying to do something, improve a concept. This is still something that most people could scrounge up some money for. It's not exactly couch cushion money, but most businesses could. But then you see this huge jump from the 70 billion, and the next largest size is the 671 billion. And this is why people get into hosting in the cloud when you start getting into these large models. The amount of GPU you need for this is 480 gigabytes. This would mean you need at least 5 H100s, right? The H100s cost about $30,000 a piece, if you can even get your hands on them. Getting your hands on them is extremely difficult. Your base machine that you have underneath your desk, or even a higher end gaming machine, isn't going to cut it anymore. So this gaming machine you were going to spend $1,000 on here to get 2, PCI slots on, that gaming machine isn't going to cut it now, because now you got to get into something that has at least 5 PCI slots on it, right? Most of these are going to run between 6 and 8 PCI slots. For a server, you're going to usually need to get into dual CPU to be able to manage all that. And really, just your GPU cost alone is $150,000. I'm not making this number up. You can go cost check these, and I can give you all the facts, and we can fact check these. But the rough reality of this is you're about $150,000 to $160,000 to get this server off the ground to even start. So running this is a staggering amount of thing. Now, can you run these? Yeah, you totally can, and there's some other ways you can, but it's going to be crazy slow to run something that would actually be production. And the interesting thing about this, the amount of power it's going to consume is going to be about $1,000 a month. So just the energy costs alone is going to be $1,000 a month. So when we go back to those very first slides and we start looking at why you would even run this H100 in the cloud at $2,500 a month, or why you would even contemplate something like eight H100s, you can see that even though it's $330,000 a month, like to just upfront $150,000 for the hardware is just staggering. And this is to build, and this would only run 1 model against it, and probably maybe not even run it efficiently. So that's kind of some of the hardware costs that I really wanted to go through, because that's going to frame a lot more of the story for why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing here. And I'm going to do a future video here, so make sure you like and subscribe, because I'm going to do one about showing you how we do a .NET wrapper around these to be able to take your .NET code and to be able to run a very simple agent that can do a specific task for you. So we're going to show you some of this in the future, so you definitely want to make sure you like and subscribe, because we also love to train software developers, because we are a licensed vocational school. So we love to train people here, and that's what I'm going to end up with here. It's been great to show you all this. And so obviously the best compliment you can always give me is to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you liked the video. Let me know things you'd like to see me try, and we will catch you guys next time.
Want to become a software developer but don't want to spend 4 years in college and rack up massive student loan debts? Think you need technical expertise to get started? Welcome to Startup Hack, a better way to start your software career without student loans and years without income. One-on-one tutoring is included, so you never get stuck and have guidance through the whole process. No technical experience is necessary. Learn at your own pace and in your own space. Startup Hack has worked with local state agencies in your area to make it so that qualifying students can get the program costs covered entirely, and students can start earning while they learn.
Startup Hack's .NET Coding Bootcamp was a game changer for my career. As someone with no prior programming experience, I was initially intimidated by the idea of learning to code, but the instructors at Startup Hack broke down complex concepts into easy to understand lessons and provided hands-on projects that really cemented my understanding. The curriculum was comprehensive and up to date and got me ready for my first job. What really set Startup Hack apart was the focus on practical, real-world skills. Thanks to Startup Hack, I landed my dream job as a .NET developer within weeks of graduating. I went from knowing nothing about code to building professional-grade web applications in just a few intense months. If you're looking to break into .NET development or level up your coding skills, I cannot recommend Startup Hack enough.
Complete our 3-month coding bootcamp, gain hands-on experience, and land a paid internship. With 2 years of experience on average, our graduates are making over $80,000 per year. The 3-month program includes technologies from Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. No debt, just a quick path to earning. Check out startuphack.com to code your future and start today.